Hey there everyone, welcome back to the ESL Hearthstone Tournament Southeast Asia Legends number 8, casted by myself, Spell Ruler. This is the semifinals instead of the round of 8. Small technical mishap there, but this is the semifinals between Fizdarth and Staz. Fizdarth playing Warrior, Staz playing Warlock, so I'm expecting a long, drawn-out game here. So both of these players seem to be playing relatively fast, though, so that's always pleasant to see. Staz tapping twice. Fizdarth is probably just gonna either armor up or bring out that Acolyte of Pain. Or he could, let's see, coin for 4 mana, equip a Death's Bite, but not too sure whether he really wants to do that, as he could just bring out the Acolyte and bring out the Death's Bite next turn. And one thing that he could do is, like, if he saves up the coin, if he just brings out the Acolyte of Pain or armors up, then he can coin Sludge Belcher for next turn to set up something defensively, force Staz to play around that a little bit. So life tap being played again. First Ancient Watcher being dropped by Fizdarth, or by Staz rather. Fizdarth drawing into a Shield Maiden, so coin Sludge Belcher seeming to be the play for him. Now Staz did draw into a Defender of Argus, so he can taunt up both his creatures the next turn should he want to. Fizdarth does have a Brawl available, but probably does not want to play it right now. I feel that if Fizdarth actually waits until Staz fills up his board a little bit more and then plays the Brawl, it would be a lot more beneficial for him, because if his Sludge Belcher dies because of the Brawl, he will still get the slime out of it. And if his Sludge Belcher doesn't die, then great, he still has the Sludge Belcher. And Fizdarth just wants to get the maximum amount of potential kills from the Brawl coming in. So I feel that I think that he might just want to equip a Death's Bite and just attack into Staz and attack with his Sludge Belcher as well, dropping him to 17, but is not going to do that. Is just going to attack into Staz with the Sludge Belcher only and summoning the Acolyte of Pain, dropping Staz to 21. Dark Bomb drop. Fizdarth will gain a card from that one. Though, which is the Armor Smith, a little bit too late to really be super effective right now, but still, Staz drawing a card that is the big game Hunter. And now Fizdarth drawing into an Execute, but really can't get rid of everything on the field. I feel that Fizdarth has to Brawl right now, or like wait just one more turn, gain some extra armor, maybe play the Shield Maiden and attack into Staz yet again, because he knows that he can play the Brawl later on and clear out everything on the field.
What now?
Now, Death's Bite equipped by Fizdarth is actually going to execute the Twilight Drake here and attack into the Urn Ring Farseer, so not allowing Staz a whole bunch of minions out on the field. Now, back to Staz, who's sitting at 7 mana, 21 health, and Mountain Giant still not really. I guess he could play the Mountain Giant. Well, spectator mode kinda fooled me there, but Mountain Giant for 4 mana would still have 3 left to tap, or he could just tap and then play the Mountain Giant. But instead, Dr. Boom looks like to be the card of choice for Staz, filling up the field quite nicely. And Fizdarth still holding on to that Brawl. Stubbornly so, I'd say. But okay, so one thing he can do is actually attack into the Ancient Watcher, and the Death Rattle effect will then triggering both boom bots, and then will kill the Ancient Watcher as well. But he will, of course, take a lot of damage from that one. 4 from the Ancient Watcher, and at least 2 from the boom bots.
What now?
I can take the hit.
So, looks like he is going to go for the Shield Stun play, getting rid of that Dr. Boom, not attacking into the Ancient Watcher, despite that it would take care of everything on the field. Now, back to Staz, who's still only sitting at 21 health right now, but looking at the pace of the game, I think that Fizdarth just wants to save up a little bit here, so Fizdarth can trigger his Grommash Hellscream by attacking with the Death's Bite. So that would be 4 damage. That would drop Staz to 17. Then 10 damage from Grommash would drop him to 7, and then another 5 from the Shield Maiden would drop him to 2.
Possibilities. So many possibilities.
Staz taking his time here though. I'm not even sure if he's responding still. So taps and gets another giant for his trouble. Defender of Argus now to buff those minions up. So 5-6 for the Ancient Watcher, 2-2 for the Boombot. Cruel Taskmaster coming in as well. Fizdarth still holding on to that brawl.
What now?
Let's take a quick look at the best way for Fizdarth to get rid of the entire board. One thing he can do is attack with the Shield Maiden into the Ancient Watcher, and then attack the Boombot with the Death's Bite. And because of the Death Rattle effect, it will take care of this Boombot as well. Of course, there is a chance. There is a chance that you'll take 8 damage, and it's not too happy, but still, Fizdarth considering the brawl to just get rid of the entire field, because I feel like he doesn't want to expend his weapon durability because he wants to trigger Grommash in some way or form. And brawl seems to be the card of choice here. Armorsmith also being hovered over. What is going to remain? That is the little 2-2 Boombot remaining. 4 damage does land onto Fizdarth though because of the remainder. And can't imagine if Fizdarth is too happy with the result. I think he would have preferred the 1-1 Boom to remain as Mountain Giant gets dropped. And second Mountain Giant can still be followed up with. Second Mountain Giant drop. 1 mana remaining for Staz and Fizdarth. Does he have a way? Oh, actually, Ysera. I haven't seen Ysera played in Warrior like in ever, to be quite honest. So quite interesting choice here. Ysera Awakens, the card of choice for given to Fizdarth, but Ysera Awakens not going to be too beneficial. Ysera goes down, a lot of damage landing onto Fizdarth, and even Ysera Awakens can't take care of this field. Baron Geddon, actually, let's take a quick look. 5 damage plus 2 from this one. So there's one way, but Fizdarth will take a lot of damage, and that is attacking into the Boombot, and then playing Baron Geddon, or playing Ysera Awakens, and then Baron Geddon to wipe out everything on the field. That would be one way to clear the board.
What now?
Now,
What now?
Fizdarth is considering his option. I think he's going to go for the aforementioned play. Or is he actually going to add in a Grommash Hellscream in the mix? Just thinking about it, but time is running out for him sooner than later. So it is going to be Grommash into Izera Awakens. Boombot landing into Fizdarth. 2 damage on him, and actually suicides into that one. I have no idea why Fizdarth decided to do that, but Staz will win a game 1 in this best of 5. I'm really not sure why Fizdarth decided to do that, because he could have cleared the board with Barongeddon. Izera Awakens. Or am I mistaken? I'm actually looking at the replay here. Actually, I can't look at the replay, but I feel like he could have cleared the board like that as well. I might be wrong. My math might be off, so apologies for that. So, congratulations to Staz winning game 1 of this best of 5. We'll be setting up game 2 for you as fast as possible. In the meantime, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Watch your back.
Victory or death!
Job's done.
Hello everyone, welcome back. This is game 2 between Staz and Fizdarth. Staz being 1 game up in this best of 5, having went with Warlock, now going with Rogue. Fizdarth playing Warrior. Not too sure what kind of Rogue Staz is playing, but we'll see in a little bit, sooner than later. Fizdarth having 2 options at this point, either the Armor Smith or just armoring up. Armor Smith going to be his card of choice here.
So many options.
And Staz, looking at him, I don't think that this is an amazing matchup for Rogue, especially if Warrior can get their armor values going on. It's really hard for the Rogue to actually break through, I feel.
I wonder.
But we're going to have to wait and see, because Fizdarth doesn't really have the best opening hand. Starting off with Izera, Sylvanas Windrunner, Emperor of Thaurissan, and Shield Slam. And, you know, Staz is thinking about his own moves here, so has essentially 3 mana available to him. So Dagger Mastery is going to be his choice, and just passes over the turn. Now Fizdarth drawing into an Alexstrasza, the second big dragon so far. I feel that if Fizdarth can get that Emperor Thaurissan out early enough without it being hindered by Staz, then he can do some pretty nifty tricks with those dragons. So now Staz again taking his time. I think he's just calculating how he needs to play this out, because Rogue is a very number intensive deck, I'd say. And what I mean by that is, like, you have to know how much damage your combos will do with the oils and stuff, and it can be a little bit weird working out like that. You know, Staz is just giving all this armor to Fizdarth, 4 free armor, or actually 2 armor given to him, essentially free. Now Fizdarth can maybe start to draw some extra card with that Acolyte of Pain. The Shield Slime taking care of that SI7 agent. Now Staz drawing into his Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil. We'll take care of that last bit of HP from the Armor Smith. So now Fizdarth sitting at a total of 5 armor at this point.
Pay attention, class.
Now Staz bring out the Violent Teacher. And Fizdarth drawing into a second Armor Smith can start to armor up even more. So what Fizdarth can do right now is he can attack with the Acolyte of Pain into the Violent Teacher, drop it to 3-4, or maybe even like hit Falera. Although I probably wouldn't hit Staz knowing that that I would have Alexstrasza in hand. So I guess that Fizdarth just wants to draw an extra card, attack with the Acolyte of Pain into the Violent Teacher, then play the Armor Smith. Or actually play the Armor Smith first, then play the attack with the Acolyte of Pain, and then armor up. So time is eventually running out for Fizdarth. Has to make his decision here. So is gonna attack with the Acolyte of Pain, drawing into a Gromash. I think the reason why he didn't attack after playing the Armor Smith was because he was hoping that he would get a 5 mana card. Now back to Staz sitting at 5 mana. And a Violet Teacher is whenever you cast a spell, but not too many spells that can be realistically played by Staz here to trigger that effect. So I think that Azure Drake might be the best play, but Staz instead gonna go for the low FEP, preventing Fizdarth from playing any spells, but lo and behold, doesn't really have any in his hand. So Emperor Pharason now being dropped, and that's going to be huge because look at that hand that Fizdarth has. 8 mana Ysera now, 5 mana Sylvanas, 8 Alexstrasza, 7 Gromash, 4 Sludge Belcher. That is a huge benefit for that one. So Fizdarth actually got a lot out of that summon. Will probably lose his minion to low feb. I wouldn't be too surprised that if Staz just trades it equally. Not Staz, still sitting at 6 mana.
So many options.
I guess you can prepare to sprint to draw 4 cards, and he would get two Violet Apprentices from it. So it looks like he's just going to do that. Gets to draw 4 cards, gets another Apprentice out on the field. Excuse me, gets to draw 4 cards, gets another Apprentice from that one. Draws another Sprint from it, so pretty much got an equal on that one. And now has a lot of spells. And it looks like he's actually going to backstab and trade that Violet Teacher off. Wants to keep the low feb alive for the 5 damage. Coming in now, Fizdarth. Fizdarth's turn. Sitting at 7 mana. Grommash a realistic play, or a realistic card he can play, but would really doubt that he would actually play that one. So it's either Sledge Belcher, Sylvanas, or Death's Bite at this point.
What now?
So both players taking a lot of time in their plays. I still feel that Fizdarth's best play would be Sludge Belcher or Death's Bite, or anything except Grommash, really.
What now?
So now Staz with a Blade Flurry,
So many.
being drawn, so many options indeed, but
My eyes are open.
so now Staz with a fairly established field here.
What now? What now? I can wait no longer.
So Fizdarth gonna go with his Grommash play here, attacking into that one. Execute to take care of that low feb. Looks like Fizdarth is finally gonna go on to aggressive here. And does Staz have anything to take care of that one for essentially nothing? Well, he has a lot of like small cards, a lot of bonus spell damage, but I don't think he can like reliably do the 8 damage to Grommash as needed without taking a lot of damage himself, unless he draws something useful from the Azure Drake if he decides to play that one. And sorry for me being a little bit quiet here, but players are taking quite some time in their plays, and eventually there's only so much that you can talk about. But Fizdarth still has Extras in his back pocket if he goes low all of a sudden, and Staz doesn't really have a surefire way to kill Fizdarth this turn. Seems like it. Let Mage Thalnos gonna be played Sharp Sword Oil to follow that up with. And actually that is the more reliable play. Congrats Staz, I'm actually didn't even see that one. Staz also taking his time for that one. But that Grommash being wiped off the field, and Staz sitting happily with a 4-1 Blood Mage at this point, only sitting at 10 health though. And
What now?
or excuse me, Fizdarth. Now Fizdarth has to play that Sludge Belcher if he wants to survive next turn. So let's take a
What
quick
now?
look. So Sludge Belcher would allow him to live for another turn, because if not, then it's probably just going to be Azure Drake into SI7 Agent into a lot of pain. Let's see, I think that would be... I think that would be 8 damage plus the dagger for 9. But Staz doesn't have enough mana for that one, so Fizdarth can actually make it little bit of a different play here. But Fizdarth is going in, takes the hit there. It's only sitting at 6 here, and Staz actually top decking into a sap so he can bust back that Sludge Belcher, and now it kind of depends on what Staz is gonna pull. He draws himself into a backstab, not gonna be too helpful. And now has the Eviscerate, so that will do 5 damage at this point. 8 damage remaining, or 8 health remaining on Fizdarth. SI7 agent to take care of that Sludge Belcher once and for all. And both players playing this slow but calculated here. Fizdarth, is he going to play the Alexstrasza to heal himself back up to 15 health?
I wonder.
So Fizdarth has 2 options here, like realistically has 2 options. Alexstrasza to burn himself back to 15 health, or bring out the shield. Do the Alexstrasza play here, so now revived back up to 15 health here, 17 actually with that little bit of armor he got from that one. But now with double Eviscerate, that is 8 damage. Plus the SI7 agent for 11. And Staz would have to find 6 more damage out of nowhere if he wants to win this one.
So many options.
Preparation, Deadly Poison being drawn, and Staz kind of forced to sap the Alexstrasza away to make sure that he doesn't straight up die to it next turn, or gets comboed by anything weird. So shield block now being drawn, that will bump Fizdarth back up to 19, and with the Shield Maiden is going to bump him up to 24. But is he going to go for the Sylvanas Windburner play? Yes, he is. And now, Staz, do you have what it takes to do 21 damage in 1 turn? Southsea Deckhand being pulled. And Staz is wondering how he is going to play this one out. Sap being used, blows back Sylvanas Windrunner. Violet Apprentice being summoned. Dagger Mastery, Deadly Poison, and Southsea Deckhand is still available for a quick charge attack if needed. So that's a total of 6 damage being dealt by Staz, and Fizdarth needs to really bring something out at this point. Brawl looks like his only option at this point, along with the armor up.
I wonder.
And Fizdarth is in a bit of a sticky situation here, because Shield Maiden would give him a little bit of time, but of course there's the risk that Fizdarth will do just outright, will do 21 damage to him just outright. Or a little bit more, excuse me, or 22. And Brawl would take care of most of the problems on the field here. Looks like he is going to go for Brawl and take the risk here. So is his own minion going to die, or is one of Staz just going to remain? And it is going to be the 3-5 Violet Teacher that remains on the field. And Fizdarth is really grasping for straws right now. Blade Flurry now being the card pulled here. I think that's Staz just wants to play Fan of Knives just to get some card draw going in. So Southsea Deckhand being played. Staz attacking. Eviscerate being used as well, but is it gonna be enough? Yes, looks like it might be 4 damage landing and another 4 damage landing, and then the Blade Flurry Dagger Mastery combo to finish it off. Staz calculating very precisely, as mentioned earlier, will win game 2 and will be 1 game away from moving towards the finals.
I must protect the wild.
Victory or death!
Hey there everyone, welcome back. This is game 3 between Fizdarth and Staz. Fizdarth again playing warrior, so I'm not expecting any short games anytime soon. We're going in for the long haul here. Fizdarth can coin for Acolyte of Pain now to get some extra cards. Go in as soon as possible, unless Staz just decides to silence it with his Keeper of the Grove, of course. But it seems like Fizdarth is just gonna armor up, and I think... Oh, actually, Druid of the Flame, that's one of the new cards. Choose one, transform to a 5/2 minion or a 2/5 minion. Looks like he's going for the 2/5 instead of the 5/2. A little bit afraid that Fizdarth might have a Fiery War Axe or anything like that. Now Fizdarth replying with his Acolyte of Pain. Staz can reply with the Wrath to just take care of that one easily. Or he could, if he wants to go equal on cards, he could just attack, and he could just attack with the Druid and then Wrath, and he would have gone equal as far as card goes because he expends 1 card in his hand but he gains 1, but he would give Fizdarth 2 cards then, which would mean that Fizdarth would have made a +1 while Staz would have gone neutral technically. So it looks like Staz is just going to ignore the Acolyte of Pain for now. So Fizdarth equipping that Death's Bite is gonna trigger, is not gonna trigger his Death Rattle effect just yet, but Acolyte of Pain has done its job, giving a fair number of cards to Fizdarth. Has given at least 1, so it has like pretty much gone neutral as far as like the cards given going. Like it'll probably give another more because I can't see Staz expending a Silence to take care of that Acolyte. So as mentioned, Fizdarth has gone +1 on the Acolyte, while Staz has gone neutral on his Wrath. 2 damage landing on him. Shapeshift for another 1 damage. And looks like Staz hasn't really grasped his combo pieces just yet. I mean, I'm assuming he's playing Force of Nature or Savage Roar in this deck.
Let the pain
So now, stats. Despite triggering the Acolyte again. So Fizdarth just keeps gaining cards off of the Acolytes.
What to do?
So he must be pretty happy about that one because he gets a lot of value from those Acolytes. Now Dr. Boom being played fairly early on, and Fizdarth can still gain a whole bunch of advantage from that one. Fizdarth could just attack with the Acolyte and execute it, or he could go shield block, armor up for 7 armor, and then take care of that Dr. Boom with a shield slam. Now Fizdarth only taking the 1 damage from the Boombot. Pretty happy about that one. Staz is gonna find his Dr. Boom being whipped by that cruel Taskmaster and probably executed.
Back to work.
So Dr. Boom will fall, and another attack landing. And again, Fizdarth drawing a card for his troubles here. Still has 3 mana left, so shield block gonna be his choice here. Sitting at 24 health. Now Harrison Jones, I would assume that Staz wouldn't want to play that one right now, as he does gain an extra card from that one. And it's not like Fizdarth is gonna play like Gorehowl, like I haven't seen it in his decks. So Staz, like, he is not gonna, or excuse me, Fizdarth is probably not gonna play like a weapon that has a lot of durability. Like, it's only gonna be the 2 durability weapon. It's only gonna be like Death's Bite and the Fiery War Axe. So he might as well just play it now, grab a card from it, which is gonna be the Druid of the Claw. And looking at his Wrath to take care of that cruel Taskmaster will fall as well. Now Fizdarth with another shield slam. Hand is now full, so he really needs to play some of those cards here.
I can take the hit.
Now Fizdarth has a lot of card advantage here. Now Cenarius coming out, and this is a game for the long haul. Fizdarth sitting at 29 health. Emperor Phorasan now coming out. Pretty much the only realistic card he could play. Like, I don't think he would want to play Dr. Boom. And if you can essentially lower the cost of all your cards by 1, like for 1 turn, like Fizdarth has a lot of cards in his hand, so he might as well play the Emperor Phorasan because there's not going to be a better time to play it later on. Now back to Staz, who's sitting on double swipe, double keeper, a Druid of the Claw. I don't really see Staz winning this one anytime soon, considering the hands of both players. So as I say, we're in here for the long haul. So Staz bring out that keeper, doing 2 damage, and Staz is going to shapeshift, take his first damage to take care of that Emperor Phorasan, because he doesn't want Fizdarth to get any more cheaper cards. And see what his next card is going to be. It's going to be the Sludge Belcher, so even more Starl.
I wonder.
Now Fizdarth is just going to armor up some more, now sitting at a total of 31 effective health, or 30, yeah, 31, excuse me. And now with the Armor Smith, it's sure to be even more double Armor Smith being played. My god, Fizdarth is just rolling around in all those metal plates of armor and shields and is having the time of life. Fizdarth is going to feel like Scrooge McDuck pretty soon, if all those Armor Smiths are going to have their way.
Where shall I strike?
Now it seems like Staz is going to go on the aggressive here. Sacrifices a lot here. Fizdarth gaining even more armor. More armor being gained from that one as well. Now sitting at 16. Buffed up again, sitting at 18. And that's going to give him a total of 19 armor. Sitting at a whopping 38 at this point, and I'm just feeling for Staz right now. How are you gonna get over 38 armor? Now Baron Geddon being dropped as well. Cruel Taskmaster could even be used to whip. Cruel Taskmaster could even be used to hit that Keeper of the Grove, so it would die as well. Not too sure why Fizdarth didn't do that. Probably wants to save up for Gramash. Now Staz expending one of his swipes to take care of that Baron Geddon, and has to consider whether he would lose Keeper of the Grove or some extra health, because he could shapeshift, but does decide to lose his Keeper at this point. Fizdarth still sitting at a ridiculous amount of health in total. Still has the Shield Maiden for an extra 5, still has Sylvana, still has Dr. Boom, still has the Black Knight to take care of any taunters that Staz might send his way.
I wonder.
Now Fizdarth equipping his weapon, gonna attack into that one. He doesn't care, he has plenty of armor. Let's see what the drop is. Staz getting a Nat Pagel for his draw. At the start of your turn, 50% chance to draw an extra card. Looks like Nat Pagel fished behind the net this time. Couldn't really catch, get a good catch there. Ancient of Lore being dropped, but really there's not too much that Staz can do. All that Staz can do is slowly accept his fate and fall down, I feel. So Nat Pagel still surviving, but it is Fizdarth's turn right now, so he could just use his Death's Bite to attack into the Ancient of Lore, and then kill them off both and hit Staz with the full 7 damage from Dr. Boom, and even play the Sylvanas Windrunner to get a little bit more pressure out.
What now?
So Fizdarth attacking as expected, a lot of damage landing onto Staz, who is just sitting on the 15 right now.
I can take the hit.
Shield Maiden being dropped, and Fizdarth is not going anywhere anytime soon. I think that Fizdarth could just win on fatigue alone, because like Staz only has 9 more cards in his deck, soon be relegated to 8 cards, has to draw 2 more cards with the Ancient of Lore later on. Is only sitting at 8 mana right now. Is he actually going to draw 2 cards? Looks like it. So it gets a big game hunter for his trouble and an Emperor Forest Zone. So innervate big game hunter to shoot down Dr. Boom, and it's still sitting at 15 health, but Fizdarth can just slowly start whittling away at them. And now with Izera being pulled, Fizdarth is only going to generate more advantage, slowly but surely. So Fizdarth getting an Emerald Drake, a 7/6 card, only costing 4 mana, and that's even hard for Staz to get over. So Staz just pretty much throwing out everything he has at this point. Fizdarth's probably just going to ignore the Sylvanas Windrunner. Actually, he just might have won the game as he pulled Gramash Hellscream, combos it off with the Cruel Taskmaster for a total of 12 attack damage, and then Fizdarth finishing it off with Wizera. We are heading into Game 4. So we'll be setting up Game 4 for you as fast as possible. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back with Game 4 between Fizdarth and Staz.
Malfurion!
I must protect the wild.
For Doomhammer.
Hey there, welcome back everyone. This is Game 4 between Fizdarth and Staz. So let's see how this is going to turn out. No more Warrior. I'm actually really happy about that because those games take forever, even though they're strategically quite interesting to see. But anyways, Fizdarth now playing Shaman, Staz playing a Druid, Wild Growth early on for Staz to get ramping up as soon as possible. I would expect Fizdarth to just play the Feral Spirit at this point. Now Staz bringing out the Piloted Shredder. Fizdarth having to take care of that one, but has to sacrifice both of his minions if he actually wants to take care of that. Or he could just Earth Shock and sacrifice one of his Spirit Wolves to take care of it, because he still has the mana to do so. So it looks like Fizdarth is going to go for the Lightning Bolt play, rather preferring to save his silence. And I cheat whenever you summon a pirate, gain stealth, Earth Shock coming out, and Staz being dropped to 26 at this point. He pulls into a Druid of the Claw, still needs to find a way to get rid of those Spirit Wolves.
Where shall I
So
strike?
Druid of the Claw now coming out, but I would assume that Fizdarth is just going to Hex him next turn, just to make sure that his Wolves will keep standing. Staz is facing a really hard board here. Double Spirit Wolf, so Keeper of the Grove finally coming in.
Safeguard the land.
It's gonna drop the Moonfire on one end. I assume the Shapeshift as well. Or Innervate Swipe could also be a possibility. I mean, he could just Innervate Swipe, get rid of both of them, but decided against it. Now Fizdarth sitting at 6 mana, Lightning Storm and Azure Drake being the only cards that can be played at this point. So is going to go for the Azure Drake and not lose out on a card. So Swipe finally coming in to play, gets rid of most on the field along with the attack from the Keeper of the Grove. Shapeshift to attack the Healing Totem, also more than likely it's gonna come out. Now Fizdarth next turn can play the Dr. Boom or the Neptulon. And let's see, Innervate, Druid of the Flame also coming out, turning it into a 2/5, so that Lightning Storm not going to do too much. So Fizdarth, a lot of options right now. Neptulon, one of them, Dr. Boom being one of them, or he could just Fire Elemental to take care of that Keeper of the Grove.
What to do?
So Fizdarth is just gonna leave the board with Dr. Boom. Ancient of Lore now being drawn by Staz. Staz does not have lethal. Has about 20 damage on the board if he Savage Roars Force of Nature. So we'll have 3 extra Treants, so that's 10 damage, plus a 10 from the Savage Roar, plus 2. So that's about 22 damage. So he can actually drop Fizdarth to 7 hit points like in one go, which is quite a large amount, but instead decides to play it safe. Loses his Keeper of the Grove, and goes to play the Ancient of the Lore, it seems. Another Boombot gonna land this time into Staz himself. Now Coin, Ancient of Lore gonna be his choice, and Staz really needs to get some extra cards going. Still doesn't have a way to get rid of that Dr. Boom. And I'm actually surprised because I think that Staz could have just like gone for the 22 damage. And let's take a quick look. Because he could have gone for the 22 damage, and then next turn, Fizdarth would only have 5 health left. So Swipe and Shapeshift would be enough there.
I wonder.
But Staz not wanting to take the risk. So Fizdarth setting up defensively yet again. Does Staz have anything to get out of this? Needs to find a way to wipe the board somehow. Force of Nature might be an answer here.
I wonder.
So Staz, looking at his options here, honestly I feel that Force of Nature might be his only valid play here. Goes for an early Savage Roar, surprisingly. Hits a little Spiderling and takes care of that one. Oh, now I see, because he wants to swipe everything away. Now Fizdarth is only sitting at 26 health. And now Fizdarth has the Hex available for him, but I wouldn't be too surprised if he just plays out the Neptulon just to get some extra cards. Because 4 random Murlocs is actually quite good if you do get like the proper Murloc ones, but Fizdarth just says, no, I'm just going to establish my board here. Have fun, Staz. I'm probably going to walk away with the victory here. Staz, Dr. Boom being pulled here. Even Force of Nature not going to help him out too much. I guess Force of Nature and then Keeper of the Grove to clear the board might be a play here.
I must safeguard the land.
Now Staz has cleared out the board a little bit, but not too much. That Fire Elemental still standing proud. And now with Neptulon on the field, Fizdarth's hand is going to be filled up yet again.
Witness the power of
So Neptulon being dropped for Murlocs. Double old Murkai. Cold Light Oracle on the Murloc Tidecaller. So Murloc Tidecaller probably going to be the first one played, then the two Murkais. I'm not too sure if he wants to play that Cold Light Oracle anytime soon. Hex to prevent Staz from getting any minions from that one. Now Fizdarth with the Neptulon on the field has to face off against the Dr. Boom. Lightning Storm probably going to take care of everything though, but Fizdarth has to be careful. There is of course a risk that those Boombots are going to land into Neptulon and take him out, but it doesn't really matter too much because next turn Fizdarth can just like bring out his Murlocs slowly but surely. Neptulon will fall, but he will keep on standing with a piloted Shredder. I see a lot of lock mana crystals for next turn though. Staz with Cenarius here might make a small comeback, though if he can stall out long enough, but I don't think that is going to happen anytime soon. So back to the game here. Sorry about that small distraction there. So X's mana being used to draw Ancient of Lore and draws a Druid of the Flame and the Wrath, but still Staz is fairly behind here and not too sure if he can actually make a comeback here. Cenarius will fall if Fizdarth will use that Flame Tongue Totem to buff up the Healing Totem. Is going to do just that. And with the Wind Speaker, will give that one Wind Fury, so 12 damage will land onto Staz. Another 2 landing onto that one, and now Old Murkai gets some extra attack from that totem as well. Well played by Fizdarth. And we are going into a last game. Fizdarth forcing it to game 5. We'll be right back with that one. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game 5 between Fizdarth and Staz.
Gul'dan versus Malfurion.
I must protect the wild.
Your soul shall be mine!
Job's done.
I wonder...
Hey there everyone, welcome back. This is the final game between Fizdarth and Staz. The winner of this one will be going to the finals and will be facing off against Waffle. So it looks like this is going to be a little bit of a faster game as Fizdarth is playing Warlock, Staz is playing Druid. And actually quite interesting card there, Kel'Thuzad in Fizdarth's hand. That is going to combo off well with the Emperor Farasan in his hand, as long as Fizdarth can actually like get those minions going. And get the cards that he needs. So Fizdarth starting off things with a piloted Shredder here. Staz with the Harrison Jones, not going to do too much for him right now. So Staz is going to go on defensive here with the Druid of the Claw, not wanting to put Fizdarth into like super low range because of the giants, of course. As someone corrected me, I've called them golems mistakenly because I was confused with another game, so apologies for that. They are giants.
I wonder...
Now Fizdarth with Twilight Drake, as he has had sufficient cards in hand to buff it up substantially. Staz, does he have a way to take care of that one? No, but he is sitting at 7 mana quite fast because of those wild growths, so he can bust out that Ancient Floor, and has a Black Knight in hand for any taunt shenanigans that Fizdarth might pull off later, which might occur right now sooner than later because of that Defender of Argus being pulled. And now it's more of a question of what he's gonna take down. Mortal Coil will give another card to Fizdarth, which is gonna be the Iron Beak. Oh, and looky here, we have a Succubus here, which the battle cry effect of course will not trigger because it was summoned by an effect rather than inherently summoned. Black Knight shooting down or slicing down that Twilight Drake from the sky, and the Raft to take care of that Succubus. And I would expect Fizdarth to maybe play Emperor Farasan at this point, because he does have Kel'Thuzad in hand, Lord Jaraxxus, Sludge Belcher, and lowering the cost of those would be quite beneficial. So Fizdarth deciding to life tap instead. Sludge Belcher set up defenses rather than set up a later board with the Emperor there. But of course, not dying is not a bad thing. Both players having a fair amount of cards in their hand. I feel that Staz might want to get rid of that Harrison Jones sooner than later, to be honest, because Fizdarth is probably not going to equip a weapon unless he turns into Lord Jaraxxus. That is going to be another story, of course, then.
I wonder...
So Staz attacking into that Sludge Belcher, swipe being used to take care of that one as well. Wants to keep his Black Knight alive to take care of that little slime, but Fizdarth, does he have a way to take care of that Black Knight effectively to use that Mortal Coil? Not yet. Staz, again with that Druid of the Flame, hasn't really been doing it for him just yet. But now Fizdarth can make an interesting play here. So one thing that Fizdarth can actually do is Ancient Watcher, then silence the Ancient Watcher with the Iron Beak Owl, and then Sunfear Protector. So you'll have an Ancient Watcher that'll taunt it and is actually able to attack. Would be quite an interesting play, but Fizdarth is just going to go and taunt it up, not bothering with the Iron Beak Owl play, and is going to attack. Now Staz has to overcome quite the board here. Black Knight will only be able to take care of one of those taunters.
I wonder.
So Staz is going to go ahead Savage Roar because he does have the second one. So he can afford that for now. Has to wipe out this board somehow and gets a little Murloc Tidehunter as the drop there. So Fizdarth's board substantially cleared out, not completely though.
Possibilities.
Now Fizdarth kind of looking at his options in hand. Alright, now tapping of course seems obvious. And then Emperor Thaurissan also being a possibility.
So many possibilities.
Fizdarth considering his options here. Kel'Thuzad not gonna help out. I'm just like passing by everything, how he would probably want to combo it. So I'd like to think that he would want to tap first just to see his options, but he looks quite adamant to play Kel'Thuzad at this point. But it is a little bit of a risk here if he does play Kel'Thuzad at this point. Zombie Channel being dropped as well. And if Staz had a Force of Nature in hand right now, then that would have been a little bit devastating, because that would be a total of 18 damage exactly if he did have the Force of Nature in hand, but didn't draw it just yet, so it's just looking to survive for the next turn until he draws it. Draws double Keeper for himself, so Keeper will silence that Kel'Thuzad, I would imagine, just to make sure that it doesn't like spawn a lot of minions. And now Fizdarth can't set up defenses yet again. Mortal Coil to draw a card. Fizdarth is sitting in a really good position right here. Siphon Soul on top of that one, and he can use that one to take care of that Ancient of Lore. Get some extra health as well so he doesn't like fall into lethal range, because the first Savage Roar, remember, was already used by Staz, so Staz can't really like pull out an Innervate double Savage Roar combo on him.
I wonder.
So as expected, Siphon Soul taking care of that one. Now the board is empty yet again, and Staz is not in the best situation right now. Cenarius might help him out a little bit, might stall for a bit, but I'm not too sure if that's going to be enough, because Fizdarth only needs 18 more damage to win this game. And with Lord Jaraxxus, or in his back pocket. Staz needs so much more than that. Sludge Belcher to set up defenses. Excuse me for that. Had to alter the score. Fizdarth is at 2 wins.
Who dares defy the ancient land?
So now Fizdarth facing off against Cenarius. Is there a way for him to get past this wall? Well, yes, there is. Zombie Chow attacking into that one. Defender of Argus attacking into the other one. And now with the Sludge Belcher to almost put the nail in the coffin for him. And Staz, not much that he can do with this hand, I feel. No way for him to take care of everything on the field. He might be able to silence the Sludge Belcher and attack the Zombie Chow to gain a little bit of extra health.
What to do?
But I don't think it matters too much, especially with the cards that Fizdarth has in hand. He can just keep on spamming those big minions. And I'm kind of wondering what Staz can do. So
What to do?
silencing the Sludge Belcher with the Keeper, that would leave you at 6 mana. And then attacking the Zombie Chow, that would at the very least buff you back up to 16 health, but so actually there is a way for Staz to get through this. Actually uses the Moonfire onto
I have no time for games.
uses the Moonfire on the Zombie Chow, surprisingly. And now Fizdarth does have an Iron Beak Owl to take care of that Sylvanas Windrunner. Taking a quick look at the damage he has here. So that is
Many
6
possibilities.
and another 5 and 6 damage remaining. And Lord Jaraxxus now being played as well. And that weapon is going to be more than enough, as it is a 38 weapon. And attacks for game. Fizdarth will be moving to the finals, and he will be facing off against Waffle.